Hello. Hi, everybody. I know that I don't normally stream at this time, but I got some things I want to say because I'm feeling good, okay? I am feeling really good. I don't know if you could tell by my eyes. Let me tell you, I went to a networking event today that was hosted by Target. It was called the Target Lab. And when I tell you that I had the most wonderful time, I had the most wonderful time today. I just have to talk about it. I just have to. Because I am hoping that some of the people I spoke to today have found their way to this podcast and that they will just hear this message. Oh my goodness. I had such a good time. There was a woman who was a keynote speaker by the name of Caroline Wanga. Please forgive me if I said that incorrectly. Caroline. She was a very, very dynamic woman who just had the most, I want to say, genuine effect. Like, she just came off as being very intentional and very genuine in the way that she delivered her message of authenticity in the workplace. And this is something that I have personal experience with because I was a part of corporate America for about 10 years. Excuse me. About 10 years or more I spent in corporate America. And you guys should know at least a little bit about me by now to know that I am just, oh my goodness, how can I say this? I am a character, okay? I'm a character. And I love to be the person who starts conversations. I like to have difficult conversations. And I definitely like to invoke thought in people, which is the reason why the name of this show is Entertain the Thought, because I love to get people to think about things from another perspective, especially my perspective. I am the most in touch with my perspective, and so I like to give it in such a way that it is complete and that it has an effect on the way a person actually thinks. So when I'm meeting people and I'm communicating to them what I do, because it is one of the main questions that you're asked when you are in a networking environment. What do you do? And it's sometimes it's a challenge for me to explain that because what I do is very personal. It's a very intimate part of my life, and I have learned how to apply it in ways that, interest me, ways that attract me. And it has just been a long journey to figure that out in business and in my career. And when I explained the essence of what I do and how it is applicable in business, and everyone that I spoke to really took to it and supported the idea, and it just, has an effect. I'm just now getting into a space where I'm comfortable networking and really marketing myself as far as my professional services are concerned and my professional business to business company. So as I'm making this make sense to other people, it's making more and more sense to me, which is a gift. To me, I unwrap it like a present when I'm able to communicate something clearly, and I'm able to see that light bulb go off in somebody's head. One of the gentlemen I spoke to, I was sitting and having lunch with him and his wife, and he said, I would not have thought about that in that way if you hadn't said it the way you just said it. And I just could not be more pleased at that point, because what I recognized and what I told him is I said, that means I have purpose. If it took for me to say what I had to say the way I said it, for you to think of it that way, that means I have purpose. That means the reason why I've been studying and learning and being sort of immersed in my thoughts and in my little train of thought. There sometimes it starts off as just a small seed, and then it turns into a huge forest. And that's exactly what what happened to me in my personal development. It started off as a small seed, and then it just, turned into this whole thing of, oh my God, this is my entire life, including my business. And it's just all inclusive. And so, again, for me to be able to communicate that and for it to have an effect on someone where they now understand that perspective and it makes sense to them, that to me, again, is very validating, and it makes me very proud to be where I am, in a place where I not only know who I am, but I know what I am, and I know what I have to offer. I know what value I bring to any situation that I'm in, especially my business. I know the value that I have, and I'm able to market that, and I'm able to make it make some sense. I really appreciate that. In this networking experience, I just could not be more grateful to Target for putting on the event itself. It was immaculate. The way they had it set up, the entertainment there, the speaker was all the speakers that came to present were perfect. Everything was just perfect. The crowd was perfect. Oh my goodness. It could not have been more on point. And there were free drinks. Do you see this, honey? I was in that thing like, hey, let's talk. I spoke to a gentleman that is into technology. This brother does artificial intelligence, and he has an entire company based on artificial intelligence, and it just lit up my whole life. My whole world was just illuminated talking to him, because first of all, we talked for a long time, and we just had this understanding about certain applications. And it's like, even though we were both in different fields of study, we were able to make connections in the way that we were able to, relate to one another. He was in a technology field, and I was able to relate to him because in a lot of ways, consciousness is technology. It is a lot of wireless technology and communication that happens up here in your mind. And you have to be in a place of understanding to be able to make that connection. So we had a lot of talking going on about artificial intelligence, and talking about blockchain technology. Blockchain technology has implications that go far and wide, and he and I were just sharing, some off the top of our heads, ways that it can be used and ways that it's currently being used. And that was just, I told him that I was proud of him, because I am, and I really like to know that there are some very solid thinkers out there in society, and that people are very open to believing that better can, affect society, that it can affect change. And I want to give special thanks now to my very good friend Marquez, because he told me to get myself into some circles that benefit me in the way that I see things, and open and broaden my perspective. And that has completely served me. I said in my post the other day, I don't hesitate to take good advice. I don't hesitate to receive criticism as best I can, because I know for a fact that it's going to help me grow in some kind of way. There's going to be light and joy and peace at the end of the tunnel, some kind of satisfaction. And I got it. Oh my goodness. I took the advice. I opened myself up. I went on Eventbrite, and I just went crazy. I've gone to 2 networking events so far, and both of them have benefited me in ways that I am very, very happy to enjoy. You understand? I mean, to create your own opportunities is the most exciting thing that you can ever do. It's like being on a freaking roller coaster, because you never know what turn, what loop, what's going to come to you. It's like, oh my God, you're here right now. This is you. This is an opportunity. how can I be of service to you? And that's one thing I love about the service industry is that it is limitless. The implications of what you can do in the service industry is absolutely limitless because people's desires, people's fantasies, people's wants, people's interests, they are limitless. You can always serve these very intangible things and make them tangible. That's the reason why you create your reality out of your thoughts, your imagination. It's your process of creating something out of nothing. That's what your godlike ability actually is. You are a creator. And when you create things, you breathe your spirit into them. You breathe your character and your essence into your creations. And whether that be in your personal life or whether it's in your, or it could be in your business life. And that's the reason why I'm here, is to make these things make sense. They have to make sense because this is the way our universe is governed. We have laws that we have to follow and that we have to honor in order for us to reap what we actually want to sow, which is sustainability. We all want to sustain our lives on this planet, and we have to do that using wisdom. There's not going to be anything less than wisdom that's going to make us make sense of what we're doing in our actual reality. Okay? We cannot continue to deplete the resources on this planet, thinking that nothing that we do or subscribe to, actually makes any sense. It makes a big difference what you invest in, not only your financial dollar, but your mind, your mental matter. It must be focused on something that is sustainable to life. If it's not, then you will continuously produce things that are not sustainable to your actual reality, which is that you are a organic creature. What you put in is what you get out. That's a universal law. It's cause and effect. What you sow, you reap what you sow. And so we have to conceptualize these things in our natural environments. Conceptualize the fact that if I buy something and I use my dollar to invest into this thing, I'm sowing into it. Then whatever it produces, whatever a company produces, whenever you sow into that company, whatever it produces, that is what you're going to sow. If you're investing in a company that is selling you genetically modified ingredients, you're going to continuously eat genetically modified ingredients, and you're going to continuously have the side effects of said ingredients because you're sowing seeds into that production. This is why small business and the reason why your startups and your sort of organic companies are very important to the market, because what we sow into is what we're going to reap. We're going to get from these companies whatever we're giving to them. If we're giving high value to companies that are giving low value, then, whose responsibility is that? It's not the company's fault that we ascribe more into their product than what is actually worth them. If they're able to mark their product up 1,000 times what it's actually worth, and we're willing to pay that because it's considered luxury, that's on us. Because who's not going to take the money? Who's not going to take the money and run? We're making people rich, giving them things that I want to say would not normally be okay if they didn't have a certain name or a brand on it, or if they were very transparent about how they were able to charge these prices or the type of markup that they're giving for the lack of value. Or in their process, there are companies out here that have processes that are very toxic, things that are happening in the market that do not sustain society. They do not sustain the environment, but yet we are sustaining those industries. We are sustaining those markets because we consistently sow our financial seeds into them. We're still going to the market and buying milk and eggs and all kind of things when we know that dairy is toxic to our bodies. We're still going to purchase, meats and things that are highly processed, highly preserved, high sodium, high sugar. We are sowing seeds into these things. When we do have alternatives, we live on a mini market basis. We live around mini markets. And so if we were able to focus our financial efforts into more mini markets for our local needs, things like food, I don't need to buy food that comes from China. I can buy food that comes from right here. Why does it have to be so heavily preserved coming from China versus me just buying it from the person down the street? It doesn't have to be preserved. I'm buying it from down the street. You understand? We have to reconceptualize how we're doing things, because when I live in a city, I'm only going within 50 miles of my home on a regular basis anyway. 50 to 100 miles on a regular basis. That's how far I travel from my home. No more than that on a regular basis. Why do I need to have things that come from a whole nother country? Yeah, you might have items that are luxury. You might have some things like that come from China, like, that don't really grow here for the most part. But if it's organic and not highly processed, once again, it doesn't have to be so preserved. It doesn't necessarily have to have as much processing on it that we purchase. I stopped using canned goods not too long ago. I went to eat something out of a can just randomly, and it tasted like metal. I was like, what is this? This is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Target gave me wine, y'all. Target gave me some wine and I'm feeling fine. Target gave me some wine and I'm feeling fine. I've only been on here for 16 minutes and I've already gone through an entire lecture. I'm going to continue talking about the event though, because there was more to it that was absolutely brilliant and absolutely beautiful and just wonderful. They were giving away headshots and brief beauty makeovers. My makeup was done. I don't know if you can tell how fabulous I am right now, besides the fact that I have been drinking and now I have wine eyes. I have wine eyes right now, but that's okay because I still feel beautiful. This woman gave me highlight, y'all. I got highlight on the bridge of my nose and also a little dab of something on the crest of my lip. And it is awesome. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I was like, girl, you got me feeling myself over here in this mirror, honey. What you got me doing? I feel beautiful. She was like, you are. I was like, you are too. This is great. Target got it right. I'm trying to tell you, this thing was amazing. It was great. So she and I got to talk and she said that she does, what did she say? Classes. There were courses that she does where she teaches women how to do very natural and very quick routines to maintain their skin. She did a technique, y'all, where she mixed my foundation with a moisturizer because she could tell I have dry skin, and which I do in the winter. Every winter my skin goes dry and I have like these really bad peeling episodes all around my T-zone area, which is my nose and between my eyebrows and that stuff. So she's like, I'm going to mix you up and I'm going to update your foundation real quick. So she updated my foundation with this moisturizer. And when it went on, then she put this powder to kind of set it and make it like, back matte again. I was just like, girl, you better do it. You better do it because this is right. This is good. Then she gave me this blush, like it's kind of dark. I don't know if you can tell. I can see it, but like it's really pretty in person, in HD or whatever. So she gives me this like darker blush along my cheekbone line, and then she put some highlight there, and it was just everything. She highlighted my eyelid. What do you call it? My eyelids. I wish I had my mascara. I didn't bring it with me. But, she just did me right. She gave me this lip stuff that was from a lip bar that's Black owned. I'm going to put the details in my, whatever this description is so that you guys can have the information. contacts. And oh my goodness, she told me that it was a brand that's now being featured in Target, y'all. It's being featured in Target where they're highlighting the Black owned brand and they're giving the owner, a spotlight. Oh, that is amazing. Come on, somebody. You must appreciate that. You must appreciate the brilliance in that and give it some kudos. So I have to whoop whoop, much, much, much love and much appreciation to Target for, just being a voice and allowing us to exist in our nature. Oh, the keynote speaker, Caroline, she had her locks up in this fountain, y'all. They was in a cuff. They were inside of a cuff. Oh, it made me want to go get my afro put up in a cuff now. She was beautiful. And the way that she delivered was just awesome. So after the makeup station, you were supposed to go get your headshot done where you have a professional headshot. And I did not take advantage of that simply because the line was very long and I had on heels. I was trying to be fancy because, that's just me and my life. You understand? So I went on to the career coaching where I met a young lady that was very kind. We had an experience that was interesting. She asked me what I did and she was very intrigued by it, but she didn't feel like she could help me. And I actually took that as a compliment because I was in a career coaching place. And for her to feel like she didn't have much to offer me, and she said, I feel like I learned more from you. That made me feel good because I'm a business consultant. And so I would think that I wouldn't really need a whole bunch of coaching because I am the one that does the coaching. So I'm glad that I was able to teach that young lady something today. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. She said, well, I feel like I learned more from you during this than I feel so good, y'all. That was just such a good experience. All of it was just brilliant. All of it was just awesome. And then I also met again with another young lady that I met at a NABA event. A NABA event, that's National Association for Black Accountants. And when I went there, I was also in a mentor position where I was sharing my knowledge with some people who just might want to have a new perspective on how they look at business. And this young lady was especially, attracted to the certain things I had to say. And so she and I kept in contact and, I saw her and I said, excuse me, don't I know you? Because of course, that's my sister girl. I don't forget faces. I might forget names in a heartbeat, but I will not forget your face because once I see you and I contact and we connect, I have absorbed you. Okay. I have absorbed your energy. I have absorbed whatever it is that you've offered me and you have become a part of me. So no, I'm not going to forget a face ever. So I stopped her and I said, don't I know you? And she said, yes, NABA. And I was like, that's it, girl. What's up? So she and I, just, kind of reconnected real quick. And I told her we're going to hook up again. And girl, I'm going to connect with you again. So that was just awesome and amazing. I'm so glad to see my young sisters out here just jumping right on in, getting into these environments where you're able to rub shoulders and be a part of your actual environment, not just being on social media scrolling, but actually being engaged with what's happening around you, because that is what gives you intelligence. That connection is what gives you your heightened abilities, your heightened skills. So continue to do that. Continue to get yourself out there. I'm so proud. I'm just proud. I feel good. And I know for a fact, this is going to be a continued experience in my personal life because being connected, I also went to another event on yesterday where I was at the DeKalb County Department of Watershed, where they were teaching people how to secure contracts with the county. And so I'm looking forward to going to some of their networking events. Networking that takes place on Wednesday nights at the Department of Watershed office on Memorial Drive. So if you're in Atlanta and you want to network, go on up there. If you have a company and you want to learn how to become certified with the county to get contracts for whatever service or product you provide, please go up there and see if you may be of service to the contractors that are there. Get yourself involved. Go out in your community and experience what is around you. Get your feelers out there, your antennas. You need to go out and get your hair, okay? Get your hair wet in your environment. And if you know anything about your natural hair, these coils mean something, okay? These coils in your hair, they are receivers. They are receptors in your natural environment. And they definitely are antennas. They pick up on energy and they will communicate certain things to you. So make sure that you're keeping your hair healthy. Make sure you're keeping it as natural as you possibly can. I'm not hating on anybody who has a perm. I met a sister today that said she couldn't take it. She said she sweat too much at night and she couldn't do, she said, girl, I couldn't do all that natural stuff because I sweat too much. So she went and got her hair relaxed again. But, big ups to her for following her heart and doing whatever she feels is going to make her happy, and which I feel is all in the environment these days. Just being your authentic self and doing whatever you feel like you want to do. That's beautiful. Hey, if it floats your boat, I love it. But I want you to know still that these curls and these natural coils, they're very purposeful. So if you have the willpower and the will to just simply keep them, then do that. And allow yourself to reap the benefits of having your natural coils and your curls, because they definitely add to your conscious ability to remain aware of your surroundings and your environment. And so when you go somewhere, to a place like where you're networking, you're able to be attracted to those like-minded people that are going to receive you well and that you can receive them well. And when you exchange, it's a positive exchange. It's not a negative one where your energies don't connect. I have yet to have a bad experience. I'm not going to attribute that simply to my hair, but I will say that I believe my hair has a lot to do with the way I am received and the way I am able to receive from my environment. So thank nature for that built-in feature of natural hair. It's a built-in feature. Having coils is, the person who makes my ring, his, what's his name? It's Elements. Aaron L. Amin. His company is called Elements Designs. He always says that he believes these rings, they hold and harness certain energy in them because of the way he designs this coil. And what you have to know about coils is that they are conductors of energy. They are conductors of power. And so when you have this on your head, and it's multiplied by every strand of your hair, every strand of hair on your head, you have to know these coils, they definitely are conductors of energy. That's exactly what they're used for in science and technology. And so you know that your brain and your body is a piece of scientific technology, and it's no different. The coil works the same throughout. That form, that shape is what is the conductor of energy and power. So you must, big ups to your hair. Love who you are and know who you are. That's the reason why these events and these types of things just give you so much energy in life. I feel like like I could run a marathon right now because I just feel great. I feel wonderful that the way I was able to connect with certain people and to be able to share that energy, to pass it back and forth. One young lady I was talking to, like I said, with her husband, she had locks in her hair. They were just absolutely beautiful. I was like, girl, I just know you love the ease of you not having to do something to your hair every single day. And I said most of the time I will put my hair up in a ponytail and just let it ride for like a whole week. I'm not touching it. I'm not going to do a thing because I know this hair is, come on now, I don't have time for it. This hair is too much. I love it, but it's a lot to have to deal with this. To brush this stuff and to get it detangled. Oh my goodness. It is a work. It's a job, I should say. And so I mean, it's a labor of love, but goodness, I definitely have to love it because it's a lot of labor. But I do love it, and I think that the benefits are worth it. I tell you one thing, I keep one of these somewhere nearby, and any woman that got natural hair will probably laugh at that. Honey, it ain't nothing wrong with just giving you a good little spray, honey. Giving that thing moisture, because it soak it up. It suck it up like a doggone sponge. That's exactly what it is. It soak up a lot of things, more than water and oil. But anyway, so back to the Target event. When I found out that they had open bar, you would have seen fire come out of my feet. I made it to that bar so fast. I ran over to that thing like, let me get 2 of those tender. I'm just playing. They had cups already available, so I just grabbed one. I just picked one up. They were just sitting around. They had already pre-made the cups. So I just picked up a couple of them. But when I sat at the table, we had some very good conversations about, economy and just the general market, of how we're able to barter with each other in our economies or our small, local markets. And, I think there's really a lot of value that we need to pay attention to in our local markets because, there are only a certain amount of things that you really need. If it wasn't for a corporation having these monopolized markets where only they can control things like your electricity. For example, if we were able to pool our money together and find a way to all live on solar power, we wouldn't necessarily have to subscribe to the electric companies, If we could find a way to distribute some wealth to the less fortunate to where they could also be off the grid. You understand? There's a reason why the wealthy are very charged with philanthropy. People like to see them doing things for the rest of the rest of society because they have so much. They have so many resources that people need access to. And the reason they have those resources is because they have fiat. They have access to fiat, which is the way we're able to acquire our access to our living necessities. And so we need to really understand that as we seek after success, we seek after, what they say, secure in the bag. We have to know that when we secure that bag, we also have to know that there are other people who might need us to secure them too. They say, I am my brother's keeper. We have to really understand the honor that's in that. When we have people like T.I. and people like Snoop Dogg and people like Ice Cube and people like Nipsey Hussle and people like, there's a young lady that's, what's her name? Who is Snoop? Her name is Who is Snoop on Instagram. She's a serial entrepreneur. She does a lot for the community and you can see how she's growing. There are just things that we have to pay more attention to in our local markets because distributing the wealth so that everybody is able to thrive is the idea for sustainability. This is how we begin to sustain ourselves and do a word. There's a word called subsist. Subsist. It means to take care of yourself. And this is what our communities need to do. We need to sustain and subsist because there is a certain amount of power that comes in the amount of consumption that we do, the amount of production that we do. Now, we work a lot, but we also play a lot. And so that has a lot to say about the way we economize and market ourselves on the market. There's a lot that we have to offer on the market because of the way we interact and engage with the market. There are some communities out there that only they sow a little into the market, but they reap a lot, meaning they give things of little value that they overcharge for. But see, for us, we like to pay for what we get. And we work hard. So that tells you that we put in a lot to what we're actually getting back. We're not just, and naturally, we live in harmony with that natural law. You reap what you sow. We know to work hard. We know that we have to give a certain amount of ourselves in order to experience a certain amount of ourselves. And so when we do that in a marketable way, we create industries. You understand? We create profit, revenue. We create value. Substance, matter, something out of nothing. Y'all don't get me to start preaching up in this thing because I will. We will have church in here because this is how market and economy works. This is how we get into a place where this is the diversity, okay? We diversify the markets. Not only do we create the industries, but we sustain them. And we don't own them. That's a problem. But we definitely create and sustain them. And so if we can get to a point where we actually own them, yeah, that'd be great. And so when I see places like Target, supporting ownership, and they're supporting strategic career moves and networking and getting connected with the people around you, and being able to own your identity, own the authenticity that you have as a person, as a business person. That to me means everything, because that's everything I stand on right now. It's everything I'm actually experiencing, and everything I want to experience in my life. So, again, the event could not have been more spot on. Oh my goodness, the tuna wrap. Whoever the caterer was, the tuna wrap was bomb. Okay, there was a roasted veggie wrap, bomb. I'm about to talk about the whole entire event. It was bomb. They didn't have regular potato chips. They had plantains. Come on, somebody. Clap it up for Target. Who did that? Who did it? They had plantains. They had plantains. They didn't have potato chips. It was plantains. Come on, Target. Who was the advisor? Who did it? Kudos. Come on, somebody. The wine was free. Thank you. I love it when I go to a Black-owned nail salon and I get a glass of wine. I don't go to no Chinese or no Asian, Vietnamese. I don't go to no other establishment and get no free wine. It's when my sisters do it. Baby, you want some wine? Yes. Yes, I do. Hand it over. When I go get my nails done at a Black-owned salon, yes, I do. I get free wine. They know what I'm going through. Hand it over. Baby, yes, I do. Do you want to see my ID? Somebody gave me a wristband. I'm ready. You understand? We had a good time up in there. Music. Somebody played, what was he? Goodness gracious. It's in my head. Yo, what was the song? What was this? The DJ was awesome. What was he? The DJ was awesome. What was the song, y'all? Goodness gracious. Oh, he had me. It was live. I heard they had like the jazz version of Stankonia. The Ain't So Fresh and So Clean. Come on now. You better do it. I couldn't take it. Everything about that thing was lit. Everything about it was spot on perfect. Everything about it was perfect. I want to go again. When is the next one going to be? When is the next one going to be? The only thing that I deeply regret about that event is that I could not talk to everybody in the room. I wanted to talk to everybody. Dang. I wanted to get on the microphone. She had a moment, Caroline, she had a moment where she spoke about, not allowing a company to compromise who you are, and that who you are is non-negotiable, and your value and your worth and things like that. And she was like, you cannot allow a company to manipulate you. But she was like, there's a certain way that you have to get there. There's a certain way that you have to play that game. And she gave a very detailed pathway to be able to accomplish this sort of respect, where your company would allow you to express yourself in your natural element because you're not negotiable. And I wanted to tell a little bit of my story, because when I resigned two of the positions that I resigned, it was largely because of that reason. I felt like if I would have stayed and continued to do the politics and, play into that political agenda type of thing, it would have compromised my character. It would have compromised my identity. And it actually was. It was making me into a person that I felt like I was angry. I had a lot of, pent up anger. I cussing people out. I tell you, I cussing people out. And so I just couldn't rationalize me being there anymore. I knew I had better things to do. And I knew I had more value that I could bring in other ways. So I just totally let it go. But anyway, when she was talking about that, I wanted to stand up and be like, girl, let me tell my story real quick. But I just so appreciated the fact that we were able to, just connect, and first of all, everybody has career goals. We all are able to connect with each other on that level. And so even if I can't do anything with your business or your ideas or your resources or your network, but to offer you an encouraging word, I would love to do that. If I meet you and I can't be no good to you, you can't serve me in no way either. I would still love to encourage you and still love to tell you that You need to hang in there. The young man that I spoke to with the tech company, the tech company that he has is brilliant. Oh, it is brilliant. He has, excuse me, it's a technology company that's based on artificial intelligence. Did I tell you guys this already? Oh my God. They have a technology where when you go into, let's say, a high traffic event, let's say a stadium, and you walk into the doors and you see like certain ads. Let's just say you see a poster, okay, and it has a QR code on there. You go up to it, you take a picture, and you'd have to pull up a separate camera or a separate app for you to read the QR code versus you taking a picture. His technology allows the image. First of all, the image is not a poster. It is like a holographic image. When you walk in, there's a device that casts a holographic image. Like, let's just say it's the Falcons logo. They're, the Falcons, whatever, the Falcon. And you go to take a picture next to this holographic image. Your native camera now, the native camera on your phone, not an app. Okay. It pops up with an option. Come on, somebody. For you to follow the link to that image. It reads the image on your phone. It's artificial intelligence. Now, it's basically reading the camera. It's reading what's happening in the camera. The technology is able to capture the demographic information and the traffic patterns of large crowds, to see groupings and certain things like that. Oh my goodness, the technology that he's developing. And I told him, I encouraged him. I said, brother, I looked him in his eyes. I said, please do not sell this technology. First of all, if it gets into the wrong hands, I'm pretty sure that there are people out there developing things like this and they're trying to figure it out. But the fact that you've already got it up and running, you're already doing something with it, don't sell it. Don't sell it. Because it's not for anybody else to reap the benefits off of your intellectual property. You understand? Don't give someone the ability to take your seed and grow it into some huge empire where it's doing things that you did not intend for it to do. We are suffering from a society that has been plagued with things like that, where technology and certain companies and products are being used for things that they did not intend for when they were created. But since they sold the rights to it, they couldn't control it. You understand? So our intellectual property is something that must remain in control of, because if you don't remain in control of your intellectual property, then what do you really have control of? What do you really have control of if you don't control your intellectual property? Y'all, I gotta go. This was in an impromptu meeting. I got to go. First of all, I got to use the bathroom. I done drank so much wine at this thing. I got to go. But I'm going to say this again. Thank you to Target Corporation. I appreciate you. I love the fact that you were able to allow these opportunities to happen, to make these connections happen. Man, Caroline, can you be my mentor? Please. Anyway, I'm going to just, throw that out there just in case you might see this. Be my mentor. And then I'm going to let it go. My baby is getting ready to go. Shaheen, come here. Anyway, me and my baby getting ready to going to, a little family gathering that we have on a weekly basis. I feel so good, y'all. This is Entertain the Thought. My name is Reese Roberts. Please see me at my website, www.reeseroberts.com. You can also find my business services company at www.servincorporated.com. I'm on all platforms streaming. I usually stream on YouTube and Facebook. I also stream on Instagram pretty often. You'll find all the links to my pages on my website. So please do explore. Please do get familiar with me. And please do reach out to me. If you have something you'd like to talk to me about, if you have business ideas, if you have a think tank, if you have a speaker panel, if you have a speaker opportunity where you'd like for me to share some ideas, to share some insight, I'd love to do that. So please find me on either of those websites and allow me to share my perspective with you. I love you guys. I love the fact that Target did what it did. I love you, Target. I will probably be up there shopping like I always do with my little Starbucks in hand. Oh my God. That's too much. Gotta go. I love you guys. I'll be back on Monday at 11 a.m.